This video is for everyone who's ever felt held back by fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, even fear of letting go. What if fear didn't need to control your life in the way it sometimes seems to? I'd like to invite you into a small experience. Nothing to force. Don't need to figure it out. Just a moment of presence. And if it feels comfortable, you might gently close your eyes and simply listen. You know, sometimes I think back to when I was a child. I remember winter mornings, stepping outside into fresh snow, watching flakes drifting slowly from the bright blue sky. I would stretch out my hands to catch them without to think about what happened next. Just being there in that moment. And then sledding down hills, fast, unsteady, sometimes tumbling, snowing flying everywhere, laughing, holding on, not because you were safe, but because you was alive. And if I fell, I fell. I didn't stop to analyze it. I didn't decide I shouldn't try again. I simply got up, brushed the snow away, and went back to the top of the hill. As children, we move towards life naturally. We climb, we explore, we try. Not because we know everything will go well, but because curiosity is stronger than the voice that says, be careful. Fear might still appear, but it doesn't tend to take over. And there is a kind of innocence in that, a quiet trust in the next moment. And then, as we grow older, something begins to change. The mind is trying to help us in a different way. It starts to predict, to anticipate, to warn, not because it wants us to stop living, but because at some point it learned that being careful felt safer. And that voice can be so convincing that we forget we ever knew how to move freely. And we begin to rehearse what might happen instead of responding to what is happening. But the earlier part of us, that inner wisdom, never disappears. It's still there. The part of us that knows how to take one step without needing certainty about the next. That part that can experience anything without carrying every past moment into it. That part that understands that falling once, it doesn't mean we are always falling. Making peace with fear, it doesn't mean becoming fearless. It means allowing fear to be one voice instead of the one that decides everything. It means recognizing, I see you. I know you are trying to protect me. But right now, I'm safe enough. And perhaps in the days ahead, you might find yourself in a situation that once would have activated the old protective pattern. Maybe begin subtly, a thought, a memory, a familiar setting. And you might notice that your mind begins to respond in a slightly different way, even before anything actually happens. So instead of the old response automatically taking over, it might be a small pause, a breath, a moment of awareness. And in that space, you might notice something different, not dramatic, not forced, just steadier, like standing at the top of the snowy hill again, where you could fall, yet also where you have stood, walked, and lived many times before. And you might notice yourself breathing more evenly, feeling the ground beneath your feet, responding to what is happening now instead of what once happened. And every time that happens, even slightly, your mind is learning something new. Just like a child running down the hill, aware they could fall, yet moving anyway, because life is happening now. And perhaps gently, you can begin to rediscover that way of moving forward too. One step, then another. Not because fear is gone, but because it no longer needs to lead. And as you continue to step forward in your own way, at your own pace, you might begin to feel as though something within you is quite reorienting itself. It's almost like a compass, not pushing, not forcing, just gently guiding, helping you notice what is safe now, helping you respond to what is here rather than to what once was. And you don't have to think about how this happens. Just like compass naturally finds north, your mind and your body can begin to find their own balance again. Each step becoming a little easier. Each experience quietly updating the next one. Until moving forward feels like less effort and more like something you are allowing. And you might find that that path was never something you had to create, only something you can begin to trust. And in your own time, you can bring your awareness back, being aware of the room, the sounds around you. And when you're ready, just gentle open your eyes and notice what feels different now.